Hello and welcome to our video critiques. You're going to hear me say this at the top of all three videos, so no matter which one you watch first, you're going to get this intro on all of them. So, hello, welcome. I am your instructor. My name is Colin Blakely, and today we're going to be looking at Mark Connor's images. So yeah, basically the way I usually do this is that I look over all the images and I just lost my train of thought. I judge them as images, based on sort of how they function, how successful they are or not, based on various elements such as lighting, color, formal qualities, things like that, composition. Um, so so we're going to go through it that way first, and I'm going to talk about sort of how I think they turned out, and then we're going to go to looking at the specific requirements of this assignment and how well your images succeeded in terms of those requirements. So without further ado, I'm going to get rid of the picture of myself here. Oops. Yeah. And let's look at Mark's work here. So this is not a criticism of Mark. I end up having to say this at the beginning of every class. For me, I feel like these are a little bit small. This is actually even slightly blown up to fill the screen. I would prefer if you guys made your thumbnails just slightly larger. Again, they don't have to be like, half size or even third of the size that the image would normally be. I just want to be able to zoom in enough that I can see a lot of details. Like here I get a sort of a general sense of what's going on, but I really want to be able to kind of get in here and be able to say, oh, well, this area is good, or, I mean, even this is better. But yeah, I just want to be able to see them better so that I can, basically, so I can give you better feedback on them. Now, again, this is not a comment directed specifically at Mark. A number of people did that this time around. Just so happens that I mentioned it here because this is maybe the first video that you'll see featuring me. So anyway, so yes, let's just talk about these in general terms, like as images. So yep, in his written part of this assignment, he talked about how the weather was not cooperating, and I know that was an issue for a couple of people. I don't feel like you're gonna lose any points for the weather not cooperating. I mean, obviously, you have a pretty limited time frame to do these in. It's always nice when the weather cooperates because then you can get more of a sense of this. But sort of what different qualities of light look like at different times of the day. But just in terms of images, they all pretty much look how they should look. There's no real obvious over or under exposures. And there's some really nice light in some of these. I feel like this is nice. It's definitely he talks about it was gray at sunrise and it got grayer. You can definitely see that in these images. But looking at these, I like this. I like sort of the formal elements here. Like it's like got these. It's like a nice use of some very strong geometric shapes, as is this, which is this here. That's one of the things I think that is most successful about this is just sort of that strong sort of formal geometric element to a lot of these things. You have like vertical lines, you have some repeated patterns, and you have a lot of real geometric shapes. And I think that in these comes off as visual. Even something like this, it's like a circle, I'm not exactly sure what that is, but it works. I feel like that's working pretty well in these. This is also a nice vantage point, sort of looking out over the town. And let's switch over to his. Oops. Maybe I didn't. Oh no, I did. That's just the next page. Wow. Okay. Anyway, a little tired today. Everyone at my house is sick except for me. So I've been up all night taking care of puking wife and kids. Let me see here. Okay. So yeah. I'm gonna flip back over here to what he wrote, and let's just see if we feel like that matches up pretty well. First image is a shot where sunrise around 8 a.m. It's gray out. Yep. I'm trying to peek out. Straight gray. Does not look crisp and clean. Yeah. Noon. Got grayer out. I like that. Number 3 was mixed light. Yep. Oops, sorry. Number 4 was low light. Computer desk. The 5 is a bad color theme. Oh, bad color environment. Yep. Let's look back at these again. So sunrise, noon, mixed lighting. Looks like some lighting here and then some lighting coming from overhead. Halogen or tungsten ball, low light, and you feel like, oh, is he saying that's the worst overall or the worst of the bunch? Look here. Look better in black and white. Yeah. Oh, okay. He seems like he's not. It says here he wasn't quite sure if he understood what to shoot. So bad color environment. That's a good question because I have gotten this off and on over the span of teaching this course, and people will say, what does that mean? Bad color environment is really whether it's a color element in the environment or like a light source that is gonna make it hard to get accurate color within the scene. For example, if you had a bright blue wall in your room, you have just some daylight coming in, but it's like bouncing off of that wall, it's picking up some of that color and reflecting it onto your subject. That's going to be a hard thing. You're going to have to go in, you're going to do some local correction, you're going to have to sort of get some of that out of their face, otherwise they're going to look like they held their breath for too long, and they're turning blue, or they ate a Smurf for breakfast, or whatever. Similarly, if you had like a one of those novelty red or blue or green light bulbs, and that was a primary lighting source on your situation, your setup that you were shooting, you could it could sort of do an odd color cast to things. So it's something like that, some element, some very strong color element in the scene that you're shooting that would make it hard to get accurate color. The other third thing, which is kind of less of a thing, but it can happen sometimes, is that if you have two complementary colors right next to each other, they can be sort of difficult to balance out. So, for example, green and magenta. Again, we're talking about colors of light here, not colors of paint, because we're not painters, we're photographers. So, or even blue and yellow, or red and cyan. If you have those two colors really close to each other, sometimes it can be hard to balance them out because basically by increasing or decreasing saturation on one, because it's the complement, it's the opposite on the color spectrum, you're going to tend to make the other one become more dominant, and that's not what we want here. So yeah, that's what bad color environment is. You sort of got it here. You got kind of a color cast that's happening, which can also, again, going back to like a light in your environment that's putting out kind of a color cast, or that's affecting the color of the scene. Let's go back here one more time. Last one is sunset. Doesn't like the depth of field. It looks too dark. Sky had more color. Does not show. This was just sad feeling. And then a nice little bit at the end here about sort of settings that he used. Okay, yeah, it's definitely very blue. It's tough if I could see this one a little bit bigger. It's just getting kind of pixelated. And again, not trying to pick on you, Mark. This is a thing that kind of happens every semester. I feel like there's maybe a way that I could put that in the announcements, but I've just never figured out a way that makes sense. I mean, this is what I've come up with, so hope you don't feel like I'm picking on you. I'm just making that point. So yeah, overall, I thought this was a pretty good first assignment for you, Mark. Yeah. So coming to the end, for this video, basically, because this is part of your participation grade, I give you a little word or something at the end of the video that you will then post below it on the discussion forum to let me know that you watched the video all the way to the end. So it's usually like a word or a phrase. Today, I should have thought of one beforehand. Today, I want you to post the word vitamin, vitamin, just like those things that my family should have taken to keep from getting sick and puking all over me all night. Yes, so go ahead and under where you see this posted on the discussion forum, just go ahead and reply to it. Write the word vitamin, and I will know that you watched this all the way through, and I'll be able to give you your credit for watching it, because it's part of your participation grade for this class. All right, I will see you again shortly.